Time management is the act or process of planning and exercising conscious control over the amount of time spent on specific activities, especially to increase effectiveness, efficiency or productivity. It is a mature activity with the goal to maximize the overall benefit of a set of other activities within the boundary condition of a limited amount of time. Time management may be aided by a range of skills, tools, and techniques used to manage time when accomplishing specific tasks, projects, and goals complying with a due date. Initially, time management referred to just business or work activities, but eventually the term broadened to include personal activities as well. A time management system is a designed combination of processes, tools, techniques, and methods. Time management is usually a necessity in any project development as it determines the project completion time and scope. The major themes arising from the literature on time management include the following: creating an environment conducive to effectiveness, setting of priorities, carrying out activity around those priorities, the related process of reduction of time spent on non-priorities, incentives to modify behavior to ensure compliance with time-related deadlines. Time management has been considered to be a subset of different concepts such as project management. Time management can be considered to be a project management subset and is more commonly known as project planning and project scheduling. Time management has also been identified as one of the core functions identified in project management. Attention management. Attention management relates to the management of cognitive resources, and in particular the time that humans allocate their mind to conduct some activities, creating an effective environment. Some time management literature stresses tasks related to the creation of an environment conducive to real effectiveness. These strategies include principles such as get organized, the triage of paperwork and of tasks, protecting one's time by insulation, isolation and delegation, achievement through goal management and through goal focus, motivational emphasis, recovering from bad time habits, recovery from underlying psychological problems, e.g., procrastination. Writers on creating an environment for effectiveness refer to such matters as having a tidy office or home for unleashing creativity, and the need to protect prime time. Literature also focuses on overcoming chronic psychological issues such as procrastination. Excessive and chronic inability to manage time effectively may result from attention deficit hyperactivity disorder or attention deficit disorder. Diagnostic criteria include a sense of underachievement, difficulty getting organized, trouble getting started, many projects going simultaneously and trouble with follow-through. Some authors focus on the prefrontal cortex, which is the most recently evolved part of the brain. It controls the functions of attention span, impulse control, organization, learning from experience and self-monitoring, among others. Some authors argue that changing the way the prefrontal cortex works is possible and offer a solution. Setting priorities and goals. Time management strategies are often associated with the recommendation to set personal goals. The literature stresses themes such as work in priority order, set goals and prioritize, set gravitational goals that attract actions automatically. These goals are recorded and may be broken down into a project, an action plan, or a simple task list. For individual tasks or for goals, an importance rating may be established, deadlines may be set, and priorities assigned. This process results in a plan with a task list or a schedule or calendar of activities. Authors may recommend a daily, weekly, monthly or other planning periods associated with different scope of planning or review. This is done in various ways, as follows. ABC analysis. A technique that has been used in business management for a long time is the categorization of large data into groups. These groups are often marked A, B, and C, hence the name. Activities are ranked by these general criteria. Tasks that are perceived as being urgent and important. B. Tasks that are important but not urgent. C. Tasks that are unimportant. Each group is then rank-ordered by priority. To further refine the prioritization, some individuals choose to then force rank all B items as either A or C. ABC analysis can incorporate more than 3 groups. ABC analysis is frequently combined with Pareto analysis. Pareto analysis: this is the idea 80% of tasks can be completed in 20% of the disposable time. The remaining 20% of tasks will take up 80% of the time. This principle is used to sort tasks into 2 parts. According to this form of Pareto analysis, it is recommended that tasks that fall into the first category be assigned a higher priority. The 80-20 rule can also be applied to increase productivity. It is assumed that 80% of the productivity can be achieved by doing 20% of the tasks. Similarly, 80% of results can be attributed to 20% of activity. If productivity is the aim of time management, then these tasks should be prioritized higher. It depends on the method adopted to complete the task. There is always a simpler and easier way to complete the task. If one uses a complex way, it will be time-consuming. So, one should always try to find out alternative ways to complete each task. The Eisenhower Method. The Eisenhower Method stems from a quote attributed to Dwight D. Eisenhower. "I have 2 kinds of problems, the urgent and the important. The urgent are not important, and the important are never urgent." Using the Eisenhower decision principle, tasks are evaluated using the criteria important, unimportant and urgent, not urgent, and then placed in according quadrants in an Eisenhower matrix. Tasks are then handled as follows. Tasks in important, urgent quadrant are done immediately and personally, e.g., crises, deadlines, problems. Important, not urgent quadrant get an end date and are done personally, e.g., relationships, planning, recreation. Unimportant, urgent quadrant are delegated, e.g., interruptions, meetings, activities. Unimportant, not urgent quadrant are dropped, e.g., time wasters, pleasant activities, trivia. This method is said to have been used by U.S. President Dwight D. Eisenhower. Domino reaction method. This is the idea that there are actions that you invest in once and which produce over time in different channels. Writing a book is such an action, because it requires a one-time effort, and once you finish it, it continues serving you. Pos Ec Method. Pos Ec is an acronym for prioritize by organizing, streamlining, economizing and contributing. The method dictates a template which emphasizes an average individual's immediate sense of emotional and monetary security. It suggests that by attending to one's personal responsibilities first, an individual is better positioned to shoulder collective responsibilities. Inherent in the acronym is a hierarchy of self-realization, which mirrors Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Prioritize your time and define your life by goals. Organize things you have to accomplish regularly to be successful. Streamline things you may not like to do, but must do. Economize things you should do or may even like to do, but they're not pressingly urgent. Contribute by paying attention to the few remaining things that make a difference. Implementation of goals. There are also time management approaches that emphasize the need for more focused and simple implementation, including the approach of going with the flow, natural rhythms, Eastern philosophy. More unconventional time usage techniques, such as those discussed in Where Did Time Fly, include concepts that can be paraphrased as less is more, which emphasizes the importance of squeezing every minute of one's time, as suggested in traditional time management schemes. A task list is a list of tasks to be completed, such as chores or steps toward completing a project. It is an inventory tool which serves as an alternative or supplement to memory. Task lists are used in self-management, grocery lists, business management, project management, and software development. It may involve more than one list. When one of the items on a task list is accomplished, the task is checked or crossed off. The traditional method is to write these on a piece of paper with a pen or pencil, usually on a notepad or clipboard. Task lists can also have the form of paper or software checklists. Writer Julie Morgenstern suggests do's and don'ts of time management that include: map out everything that is important by making a task list. Create an oasis of time for one to control. Say no. Set priorities. Don't drop everything. Don't think a critical task will get done in one's spare time. Numerous digital equivalents are now available, including personal information management applications and most PDAs. There are also several web-based task list applications, many of which are free. Task list organization. Task lists are often tiered. The simplest tiered system includes a general to-do list to record all the tasks the person needs to accomplish, and a daily to-do list which is created each day by transferring tasks from the general to-do list. Task lists are often prioritized. A daily list of things to do, numbered in the order of their importance, and done in that order one at a time until daily time allows, is attributed to consultant Ivy Lee as the most profitable advice received by Charles M. Schwab, president of the Bethlehem Steel Corporation. An early advocate of ABC prioritization was Alan Lay Kane in 1973. In his system, A items were the most important, B next most important, C least important. A particular method of applying the ABC method assigns A to tasks to be done within a day, B a week, and C a month. To prioritize a daily task list, one either records the tasks in the order of highest priority, or assigns them a number after they are listed, which indicates in which order to execute the tasks. The latter method is generally faster, allowing the tasks to be recorded more quickly. Another way of prioritizing compulsory tasks is to put the most unpleasant one first. When it's done, the rest of the list feels easier. Groups B and C can benefit from the same idea, but instead of doing the first task right away, it gives motivation to do other tasks from the list to avoid the first one. A completely different approach which argues against prioritizing altogether was put forward by British author Mark Forster in his book, Do It, Tomorrow and Other Secrets of Time Management. This is based on the idea of operating closed to-do lists, instead of the traditional open to-do list. He argues that the traditional never-ending to-do lists virtually guarantees that some of your work will be left undone. This approach advocates getting all your work done every day, and if you are unable to achieve it, helps you diagnose where you are going wrong and what needs to change. Various writers have stressed potential difficulties with to-do lists such as the following. Management of the list can take over from implementing it. This could be caused by procrastination by prolonging the planning activity. This is akin to analysis paralysis. As with any activity, there's a point of diminishing returns. Some level of detail must be taken for granted for a task system to work. Rather than put clean the kitchen, clean the bedroom, and clean the bathroom, it is more efficient to put housekeeping and save time spent writing and reduce the system's administrative load. The risk of consolidating tasks, however, is that housekeeping, in this example, may prove overwhelming or nebulously defined, which will either increase the risk of procrastination or a mismanaged project. Listing routine tasks wastes time. If you are in the habit of brushing your teeth every day, then there is no reason to put it down on the task list. The same goes for getting out of bed, fixing meals, etc. If you need to track routine tasks, then a standard list or chart may be useful. To avoid the procedure of manually listing these items over and over. To remain flexible, a task system must allow for disaster. A company must be ready for a disaster, even if it is a small disaster. If no one made time for this situation, it can metastasize, potentially causing damage to the company. To avoid getting stuck in a wasteful pattern, the task system should also include regular planning and system evaluation sessions to weed out inefficiencies and ensure the user is headed in the direction he or she truly desires. If some time is not regularly spent on achieving long-range goals, the individual may get stuck in a perpetual holding pattern on short-term plans, like staying at a particular job much longer than originally planned. Software applications. Many companies use time tracking software to track an employee's working time, billable hours, etc., e.g., law practice management software. Many software products for time management support multiple users. They allow the person to give tasks to other users and use the software for communication. Task list applications may be thought of as lightweight personal information manager or project management software. Modern task list applications may have built-in task hierarchy, may support multiple methods of filtering and ordering the list of tasks, and may allow one to associate arbitrarily long notes for each task. In contrast to the concept of allowing the person to use multiple filtering methods, at least one software product additionally contains a mode where the software will attempt to dynamically determine the best tasks for any given moment. Time management systems. Time management systems often include a time clock or web-based application used to track an employee's work hours. Time management systems give employers insights into their workforce, allowing them to see, plan and manage employees' time. Doing so allows employers to control labor costs and increase productivity. A time management system automates processes, which eliminates paperwork and tedious tasks. GTD, Getting Things Done, was created by David Allen, and the basic idea behind this method is to finish all the small tasks immediately, and a big task is to be divided into smaller tasks to start completing now. The reasoning behind this is to avoid the information overload or brain freeze, which is likely to occur when there are hundreds of tasks. The thrust of GTD is to encourage the user to get their tasks and ideas out and on paper and organized as quickly as possible so they're easy to manage and see. Pomodoro. Francesco Cirillo's Pomodoro technique was originally conceived in the late 1980s and gradually refined until it was later defined in 1992. The technique is the namesake of a Pomodoro-shaped kitchen timer initially used by Cirillo during his time at university. The Pomodoro is described as the fundamental metric of time within the technique and is traditionally defined as being 30 minutes long, consisting of 25 minutes of work and 5 minutes of break time. Cirillo also recommends a longer break of 15 to 30 minutes after every 4 Pomodoros. Through experimentation involving various workgroups and mentoring activities, Cirillo determined the ideal Pomodoro to be 20 to 35 minutes long. Triskelion system is the time management system created by GameLearn. Triskelion time management system is learnt by playing the graphic adventure game Triskelion. The system is based on the 3 pillars of time management: manage, plan, and do it now. Elimination of non-priorities. Time management also covers how to eliminate tasks that do not provide value to the individual or organization. According to Sandberg, task lists aren't the key to productivity that they're cracked up to be. He reports an estimated 30% of listers spend more time managing their lists than they do completing what's on them. Hendrickson asserts that rigid adherence to task lists can create a tyranny of the to-do list that forces one to waste time on unimportant activities. Core skills of time management: learning to say no, don't procrastinate, attend to necessary things immediately. Be realistic in your approach in achieving your goals. Keep a record of all your activities. This will help you to get things in their proper perspective and to avoid problems.